You do realize that chocolate is definitely not...
Yeah, it's a meal.
Chocolate is not a meal.
Chocolate is a meal.
Oh, God. Hola, you amazing artists! So I just did my second solo art show. Yay! And I've got some tips of what not to do when you are showing your art.
Not because you've done any of these things, right?
No, not at all.
All the things go off without a hitch.
That's right.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
So I've thought about the mistakes that I've made thus far and thought to myself, if only I knew what I know now. Mind you, I am not done making mistakes in the art world. I am sure that there are plenty more mistakes that I will be making, but these are the things that I did and that I learned from.
Yeah, that way you can avoid these mistakes and go out and make your own mistakes and then post your own video about those.
Yeah, all of the mistakes that we all make. Number 1. Don't underestimate how long it will take you to set up your art. So one of the silliest stresses that I've had in the past is rushing around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get my art up on the walls before the show. This has actually happened to me so many times that it's stupid. I remember back with my first solo show, I had over 120 pieces of work. They were just strewn about, and in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'll get this done in like 3 hours. But here's the thing, even if you have one of these nice and neatly printed up, stating exactly where the pieces are gonna go, the fact of the matter is that once you get there and once you put the artwork up, it may not work the way that you thought it was going to work. If you're anything like me, you're going to end up walking back and forth throughout the location to kind of visualize what the person is going to see when they walk into your show. And you're going to do that like a million times. So you have to account for that time of tweaking and moving and making sure that everything is where you really want it to be. No matter how much planning you do, always give yourself more than enough time. Number 2. Don't be a diva. If things aren't going right, chill out. I can't create art under these conditions. Do you hear me?
When all of your underlings stare at you wide-eyed and hope that it's time for their lunch break.
Why don't I have underlings? I should have underlings. So we all know the image of a volatile and moody artist. You know, that's the image that you have of artists who are like, I can't burn a bit. And just because some of the great masters in the past were volatile and moody doesn't mean that you need to lose your shit when things aren't going exactly how you planned them to go. You guys know that I'm pretty happy-go-lucky, but, you know, I've also had my diva moments. I think we all do. It was the fiery infernals of hell. Inferno. Let's just say that I was not a happy camper. Not even a little bit.
Nope, you weren't a dry camper either.
Because I sweat more than any other human being on the planet, I was just dripping in sweat, hauling artwork back and forth, cursing the heavens because this idiot artist, Rafi, created so much darn artwork that needed to be carried back and forth. So right at this very moment where I am just disgruntled, this woman is jogging by and she stops and looks at this work of art that I have apparently just thrown on the ground. She stops and she points and she's like, oh, I love that. How much is that piece? Instead of being like, yeah, that's awesome. Somebody's interested in my work. In my mind, all of a sudden, this festival hasn't even started yet and this person wants to buy my art. It's on the ground. Who buys art on the ground? Luckily, I caught myself before I opened my mouth because, yeah, that would have sucked. I just kind of smiled at her, asked Clee to take care of her.
We're like, please sell my art to this lady.
I've also had other moments where I thought that everybody in the room should know who I am. I'm Rafi! I am the artist, Rafi! Don't you know who I am? That could get really embarrassing if you actually follow through with saying that. Number 3, don't get drunk. You know the moment where you are coherently thinking to yourself, are those slurred words coming out of my mouth? Am I drunk? Yes. Yes, you are. And it's impossible to talk about your art when you're talking like an idiot.
Yeah, especially when in your head you're like, in the name of all that is good and holy, just shut up.
I would love to say that I've never had this happen to me, but yeah, I'd be lying. We had a show that was going on in a beautiful high-end resort. It was really, really hot. and you guys know how I feel about hot. Luckily, they had these delicious pina coladas.
They were like the frosty ambrosia of the gods.
Yeah, we had $100 worth of pina coladas.
Yeah, we did.
That was mostly Clee, though, not me. I didn't know how much I had drank until two women walked into our art section to ask about one of my pieces of work, and that's when I got up. Whoa. Then I kind of stumbled towards them, and I couldn't seem to get my tongue to do words.
Yeah, luckily for you, they had just come from wine tasting and they were pretty lit up as well.
Yeah, they weren't that lit up because they didn't buy my work, and I know that I sounded like a complete idiot. So drink responsibly, because, yeah. Number 4, if people aren't buying your art, don't get bummed. So this one might be one of the harder ones to really conceptualize because, honestly, it seems to me like people communicate mostly in financial terms as far as their value and well-being goes. One of the most frequent questions I get at art shows from other artists, so, how'd it go today? How'd you do?
That's when you give a kind but ambiguous term like, I did better than expected.
Yeah. Even the last art show that I set up, somebody asked me the next day, they were like, so how'd your art show go? It's great. We had an awesome turnout. I had a lot of collectors just come to the show to see me and the art, and there was a lot of great feedback about the art, the poetry, the whole thing. It was just awesome. Yeah, but did you sell anything? Not yet. That's where they usually reply with, yeah, that sucks. And then I'm, okay, well, it's good talking to you. I'll talk to you later. Just have fun and don't allow yourself to get bummed. There's nothing more unattractive than a bummed out artist sitting there looking miserable next to his artwork. Like, nobody's going to want to buy your art. One of the things that I think of that gets me through those is that it only takes one person to come in and completely make my day. And the second thing that I think to myself is, no matter what, at some point in time, this artwork is going to sell. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will sell. It just gets me through whenever my mind is like, nobody likes my art and I'm here and I'm sad. And you don't want somebody to buy from you because of pity. I was actually showing work at a beer festival one time. Why I was at a beer festival, I don't know.
No one will ever be able to explain why you were at a beer festival.
Basically, what I was a weird exhibition from a different planet that people were just kind of grazing by and looking at me, but nobody was actually approaching me. I essentially felt like a zoo exhibit. So later on in the evening, a lady walked into my booth, picked out one of my cheapest prints, and said, oh honey, I'm buying this. You look so sad. I feel so bad for you, but here, cheer up. You made a sale. That did not make me feel better.
Thank you for supporting the Sad Rafi Zoo exhibit. Please come again.
No, seriously. Thank you, kind lady. Thank you. Maybe it didn't make me feel better, but you tried. Don't let yourself get bummed. You're out there showing your work. Just make the most out of that. Not too many people get to do that. And there you have it, my 4 tips on what not to do or what to look out for when you are showing your artwork. I know that there's a bunch more, but these are the 4 that I came up for.
The 4 that are 4, the 4.
Now, if you have any questions about art or life in general, just leave them in the comment section below. You may not like my answer, but we could agree to disagree. If you are a creator, leave a link to your art with your question below, no matter what your art is. I'd love to see it and maybe share it in a future video. And thank you so much, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you'd like to subscribe, you can click right over here. And if you want to watch our last video, click over here. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.